bootstraps and prepare for the battle of a lifetime at the $20,000 level. What if I were to show you something so humongous, so gastronomically, unfathomably big, it would knock your socks off, your grandma's dentures out, and blow your sister's trousers to smithereens. And with one analyst issuing a dire warning stating that Bitcoin may still even bust and chug all the way up to the $32,000 level before then entering a mega giga dump like we haven't seen since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution 6 million years ago. So my fellow moon boys and moon girls, I offer you this challenge. 1 big gulp for the baby bulls, 2 big gulps for baby bull kind. Right now, the Bitcoin price continues to teeter and inch and squinch its way around the $21,000 and $20,000 level, as the baby bulls and the baby bears are having truly the duel of a lifetime. It reminds me even of the Star Wars episode where the 2 guys with the blue lightsabers battle on the lava, and then the bigger one falls into the lava and burns to bits. And if I'm going to be honest, the guy that burns to bits and becomes just a big bowl of turkey stew looks to me like it could be the baby bears of this story. And that's just truly ginormous. And if we take a look at Bitcoin's chart here, Bitcoin at this moment is sitting right around the $21,000 level. As for the past few days, after skyrocketing for well over a week to highs, Bitcoin right now faces a gigantic test. But there are a few things I want to talk about first here. So according to this Hornhairs on Twitter here, it is no surprise now, we've been covering this and a lot of people have been talking about this, we are in the time frame of previous cycles to where optimum buying opportunity has arrived and maximum pumpulations to the upside are on the horizon. Not quite yet, but it does end up, as you can see from this chart here, these the green boxes, the price does tend to curve up after the bottoming out period. 1,064 days from the 2015 to the 2017 bull market. And then 2017 to 2018 bear market was 364 days. And those numbers repeat exactly for the 2018 to 2021 bull market. And currently, from 2021 until now, it's been 364 days basically since we kind of put in this low here. And days left until the top, if the cycles repeat, is literally about 1,000 days. Basically, meaning that from now until the top of this cycle, assuming also that we've also put in the bottom, it will be about 1,000 days. And that's very exciting if you're looking at these charts and trying to get a big picture of where we are. Because if you would look at these charts a year ago, and if you looked at it cyclically like this and historically, if you looked at it and you had to be honest with yourself, you would have said, wow, we're probably going to be dumping for a long time. And now fast forward a year, we have gone through some of the craziest dumpage that we've ever seen. So that's big. And as well, take advantage of absolutely massive deposit and welcome bonuses on BITGET and BitGet. In addition, 0 fees for trading. And also, just as of like the last 2 days, you have the option now with BitGet, if you sign up with the link below, there is the feature of copy trading for spot trading. So you can copy these traders, basically just trade with them, and you can see their P&Ls, and you can see their ROIs, return on investments here, and pretty much how well they're doing. And you can trade along with them for free, right? You can just copy their trades. And again, this is available now on BitGet for the first time with spot trading as well. So it's a lot less risky. But there's also a warning here. And this was put out by Crypto Circular, a trading firm, QCP Capital here. The newsletter is called the Crypto Circular. But basically, before we talk about this, I do want to mention I have heard people talking about these gigantic Elliott waves for the past 6 years, and especially the doom dumps, the mega doom dumps, and they have never happened. What was I'm sure many of you are watching this video now remember the one, I forget what it was named. It did not happen at all. It had Bitcoin going well below like $1,000 in the last bear market, which didn't happen. But that was like the gigantic Elliott wave prediction of the last one. But this theory stating that according to these fib retracements and the importance of wave 4 in Elliott waves, which again, I personally, on these long-term time frames, I have seen it fail over and over again, so I wouldn't put too much weight in here. But basically saying Bitcoin, even from now, has 2 remaining price targets to the upside to $27,000 and even near $32,000 before then going into a final wave 5, taking out the lows that we've seen so far. So basically, this theory is completely off the wall bananas, right? And that is why it's interesting, and that's why people are like latching onto it and finding it jaw-dropping, which is exactly why it happened last time in terms of people getting hyped about it, but then it didn't happen. Oh, I think it was hyperwave. Was that the term people used of the last one? It was like the hyperwave or something? That didn't happen. But anyway, basically imagine that. Bitcoin is right now around 20, 21,000. Imagine if it pumped all the way up to 30, 31,000 and then went back below 15, even 14,000. That's crazy, right? I mean, that's absolutely insane. Could it happen again? If you're honest with yourself, you have to say, yes, technically anything could happen. You can't rule out anything. But is that likely? In my very strong opinion, absolutely it is not likely. Absolutely not. And again, you have to kind of factor in how long would that take to happen. So let's say for Bitcoin to go to 31 and then down below 15, you would have to expect that would take at least a couple of months, right? Most likely, according to these Elliott waves, if you want any kind of structure to how they're drawn, it would take at least probably 6 months for something like that to happen, which again puts us within like 6 months of the halving, which again historically has just never been the market structure before. I'm open to market structure being different in the future, but I think that theory is just crazy, right? It's just one of the craziest theories I've ever heard. But now, more importantly, if we look at the charts, the SPX today is still not doing that well. It actually today bounced off of its 21-day moving average all the way down at about 3870, 3880. And currently it's right around 3,900. It has a pretty big rejection so far just over the last 2 days at the $4,000 level, and that is not good if we want Bitcoin to pump. However, Bitcoin's still holding up really well considering, all things considered. Over the past even just couple of days, the stock market is down about 3%, and Bitcoin is down like 3%. Again, that's unheard of. Usually, in past cycles, if the stock market was down 5%, Bitcoin would be down like 30% or something, right? And now they're both down like 3%. So Bitcoin's holding up really well. But also, I remember tracking this, and this is one of the most exciting things of the previous bull market, is we were watching this. Pretty much everyone was talking about this gigantic triangle, right? And it basically played out perfectly. It did. I mean, I remember as it happened, it was pretty exciting. But for Bitcoin, before the bull markets, it typically does have a pretty big macro structure. And this structure was this triangle, this gigantic triangle. And now it looks as though we're in a gigantic falling wedge. And they're both continuation patterns. And that's what I find exciting about this. And again, I personally think that, I mean, again, there are so many distinctions, or so many things that are distinct about this cycle from the last cycle. Absolutely so. Especially, I mean, the biggest thing is this, a second higher high instead of a lower high, right? In this bull market, we had a high, a blow off top, and then complete dumpulation. This one, we had a high, and then we ended up having a second blow off top. We had like two blow off tops. It was very different. And the structure of this bull market was different from the very beginning. And now, again, we are in the middle of another macro pattern. I personally do not think that this breakout, if we do end up breaking out of this, will be the beginning of a bull market like this breakout of this giant pattern was. But you have to entertain the idea that the structure at this point, there are very big patterns that end up playing out on literally year-long time frames for Bitcoin. And you cannot count out the possibility of this turning into a very real pump. Again, I personally don't think the beginning of a bull market, but I personally think the beginning of a potential very, very strong pump. And pretty much, again, we all know it heavily relies on the stock market doing well as well. But the DXY, again, continuing to, again, we've brought ourselves down to this next leg after spending like an entire month trying to hold the 104, 105 level and failing. And the DXY, again, taking a little bit of a tumble here. And Bitcoin on the weekly chart, again, we are basically very close to breaking this long-term structure here, which if we did, again, we could see continued upside. Pretty much as long as Bitcoin can hold above like 18,000 over the next couple of weeks during this consolidation, if it continues, that can end up being pretty bullish for Bitcoin. We can go below 20K and it could still be a complete relief rally and where we pump, thousands of dollars of more for Bitcoin. And in fact, I mean, on the daily chart, guys, we're still above all the key moving averages, 2150 and 200 days. So really, there hasn't even been a pullback yet. Right? We're just not, I mean, the past like 2 weeks, we had a straight pump move to the upside. And now for the past couple of days, we've been trading sideways, but we haven't had a real pullback yet. A real pullback would have us going at least below 20,000 at the very least, most likely below even 19 in and even down to the $18,000 level, which a lot of people would quickly become mega bearish and say that the bull trap was confirmed. But all the while, that again structurally could just be the beginning of a pullback before continued pumpage, like we always see. Dumps never only go straight down, there's always some sideways. And same things for pumps. Pumps never only go straight up, there's always sideways consolidation as well. So guys, make sure to like, share, this is absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. If you guys are interested in taking advantage of massive deposit bonuses with BitGet and BITGET below, remember 0 fees for spot trading if you sign up with BITGet and BitGet with my links below. And additionally, now new, straight from BitGet, copy trading with spot trading. Absolutely gigantic. Much less risk than derivatives trading or leverage trading. You can do it now with spot trading. Much safer, much less risk. Thank you for the Miku.